Well, welcome to the Walker Pain Cave. You can see up behind us there, up on the wall, is one of the bikes, another one down there. The wetsuits are over on the side, so you're in amongst it. And I haven't even bothered to do my hair or change my t-shirt. I just wanted to talk to you today about happiness. You know, from a very young age, I've been obsessed with it. My mother died young and my dad wasn't happy, and I really wanted to make him and everybody else happy. My nickname was Sunshine, so I was the boy of eternal happiness, you can call it. And I became the anti-guru guru because I kind of think that there's too many people sprouting off how to live your life and ignoring the fact that a happy life is a great life. That a person who enjoys their work at work is going to lead much faster than a person who's grinding away, being grumpy and sulky about what's going on and trying to get approval from everybody. A person who loves what they do. I said to my partner who trains in triathlon, I said, even if you come 101st in a race, if you come across the line with a smile on your face, your sponsors and the sponsors who are looking for athletes will be interested in you. If you come first and you're grumpy because it still wasn't good enough, your sponsors are going to abandon you. So people want to be with happy people. And that's a fact. We call this happiness spirit. We can call it joy. We can call it enjoyment. You can give it a name. But the bottom line is we need to have our life in order in a very good way in order to be happy. And happiness is a natural state. I don't think anybody is naturally sad. So I'd like to share in this video some of the skills and tools that I've used over a course of a lifetime to create happiness in my life. I would like to say first up that rather than set up a paradigm that is supposedly foolproof, I'd like to say this. I've had massive amounts of unhappiness in my life. I've had 5 divorces in which each one was heartbreaking and really sad for me. I've had businesses. I had a $35 million business go down the chute when the World Trade Center went down in New York. I've had businesses not succeed. I've been ripped off by people. I've been hurt by people. I've had my spine broken and spent 5 years having surgeries just so I could walk again. So things have happened to me. I haven't been immunized. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, far from it. So what I've come to realize is the processes that I've used along the way to be happy have sometimes been quite clumsy. I call them the hard way of being happy. And what I've realized now is there are easy ways. There are fast ways to stay happy, to enjoy life, to be a great leader, to walk around with a smile on your dial, to take the best out of life and actually achieve things as a result. I truly, honestly believe that the spirit is more powerful than the sword. And what Napoleon meant by that is that a person who's enjoying what they do, who puts themselves into it and does it because they're having a bloody ball doing it, will be far more powerful than the individual that grinds away doing it because it's right, or because they think they're clever, or because they're angry, or because they've got to earn the money. So I created a 3-step process for happiness. The first step in this 3-step process is to understand the holistic nature of being a human being. Quite often we translate our problems as being things we need to solve compartmentalized by life. In other words, we say there's 7 areas of life. There's spiritual, mental, social, career, financial, happiness, or relationship, and health. So we've got 7 areas. And if we get a health problem, we go and attack that problem with a specialist. But what we don't realize sometimes is that in solving our health problem and applying energy to that solution, we create a problem in another area of life, a financial one or a work one. Or if trying to solve our work problems, we create a domestic problem because we're not concentrating on what's going on at home. So holistic self-leadership is really important for happiness, because a balanced person is balanced in all 7 areas of life. And balanced life is the platform on which happiness is just organically and naturally comes out of us. The second thing I came to realize is that there's 7 levels of thought. Now, if we think in our primitive brain, the happiness we create is unsustainable. In other words, The happiness we create is temporary, it's self-indulgent, and it doesn't last very long. At the higher levels of the brain, the happiness becomes internal, and so it becomes bulletproof. Now, I'm not interested in a happiness that puts another human being between us and our happiness. This one of the greatest things I've learned in my life is that if you put someone between you and your happiness, you're bound to fail. So I think bulletproof happiness is described by the ability to use the higher centers of the brain, which create an internalized feeling of fulfillment, enjoyment, joy, and happiness before we go to work. And last but not least is to apply that happiness, to give it, to share it in what we do. And I'd like to talk about how to become a little bit, let's say, resilient in the world by moving through things much faster than the average person thinks is possible. Let's talk about the first one. A balanced person is balanced in all 7 areas of life. And so it's really important to look at your goals and say, what are my goals in 7 areas of life rather than 1? Now, those goals will be hierarchied. Of course, there are more important goals and less. And the basis on which we choose which are the more important, which are the less important, are your values. So to understand human values, yours is to understand self. So that's the first step. Second step is the 7 areas of the brain. When we say the words got to or should, we're absolutely in our primal state, and the happiness we're searching for is very elusive. It's because when something happens, I will be happy. Rather than say this, I would like to propose that you say, I'm happy and things happen. I'm happy no matter what happens. And therefore you build up a resilience. Last but not least, we want to make this world a better place. Grumpy, angry people think they make change, but they don't. People who are angry, people who are violent against others, people who use violence and anger to cause change, just cause temporary setbacks in a process of evolution. And I'd like to talk to you about the laws of nature and how they impact people in the 7 areas of life. The laws of nature are the universal laws. Now, if you're looking for sustained happiness, it seems to me it's pretty wise to look at to have your expectations operating in harmony with nature rather than against it. There are a lot of people out there fighting for nature, and that's a ridiculous notion. When you think about it, you can work with nature to cause natural outcomes which are evolutionary. And that's the process of understanding the laws of nature, the universal laws of nature. So what I've done is created a 30-day program. It includes the 3 groups of learnings, the balance in 7 areas of life, the use of the higher mind to cause sustained happiness in all 7 areas of life, and the generation of happiness by actually having expectations based on the universal laws, which you'll learn in the 30 days, that you can apply to all walks of life. Now, knowledge that's not organized leads to confusion. So there are a lot of people who know a lot about how the universe works, but because they can't organize it into day-to-day thought, leads them to be confused about life. The laws of nature put that knowledge in boxes and allows you to apply it to everyday life. This is Chris. I hope you join me for the 30-day challenge. I've packed up nearly $30,000 worth of coaching and management consulting and life coaching into a 30-day program, and it's available to you for the price that's written below this video. I hope you join me. Bye for now.